So we're going to explore thinking in sets of data, and to do that we need more sets. We need more data. So we left off right here. We're cooking database. If you're watching this online, you get here, get to all those notes right at this URL. And by the way, you should come take classes here because that helps make all this possible, what I'm doing right now. All right, so we create that database. Now we did some queries, and now we're gonna add some schema, add to the schema and data. But first I'm taking a drink of Wallaby Organic Aussie Kefir Strawberry. Sponsored by.
Is that dairy?
Now we're going to create table ingredients, create table measurements, create table recipe ingredients, insert into ingredients that data, insert in measurements those values, insert in recipe ingredients those values. I created this randomly using a Golang program. I'll show you that in a second. And then we're going to end up with schema like this. We have recipe classes, connected to recipes. We already saw that. Connected to recipe ingredients. And the recipe ingredients has an ingredient name and a measurement description. And so those are all connected in there. So that's what we're adding to our schema. I'll let you do that in a second. I want to show you how I just randomly generated this. We're no longer going to see SQL. We're going to see something called the Go programming language, which is the best programming language in the entire world. It was created by geniuses. It's what Google is rewriting Google in. They created it. It's now open source. It's also, they rewrote all of YouTube in it. So if you want to learn a programming language, it's the fastest growing, highest paying programming language in America. And here's the best course in the entire world you could take for learning the language. At greatercommons.com, we are going to go to the play golang.org. And I needed to create a bunch of random numbers. So we're just going to see this language. I needed to create all of that. And so I'll just grab one as a, well, I'll show you how I did it. And so there is the Go doc. Well, we'll go to golang.org. This is the official website of the Go programming language. And we'll go to packages. And this is all code that's been pre-written for you by geniuses. And then we're going to go to the math package. And then there's a RAND package. So, you just go use the code. We click on RAND. Those of you who are in my Go class this semester, you know some of this stuff already. And then in here we've got type RAND from this package, math RAND, type RAND. And we have, I need like an int between certain things. So I'm just going to do a find int and look at the index. And int. And maybe this lets me do an int n, does a range. I'm going to read about it. Return int n returns an int, a non-negative pseudo-random number, in 0 to n. So 0 to n from the default source. It panics if n is less than 0. Sweet. I like it. And so this is package math rand, and it's rand int n. And so I am going to have a variable a. No, what am I going to do? I'm going to just start out with print line, I guess. And I'm going to print out, it's from rand, and it's int n, and it's going to be from 0 to n, so it's going from 0 to whatever I say. So it'll give me a random number from 0 to 10, but I want it from 1 to 10. So now it's going to give me a random number from 1 to 11. I want it from 1 to 10. So that's going to give me 1 to 10. Okay? And I think that may run. So I'm going to format this, and you'll see it import a package. That's bringing in the package of code, math rand, which is the packages from the math package. There's a sub-package called rand, and from that I want to call int n. And so here's math rand, and so I just call that package with the last word. Here I'm calling from the fump package fump. Here I'm calling from math subpackage rand. So really from the rand package rand int n. I'm going to format it and run it. Boom. Sweet. So I just need to replicate this. So I could do a loop for, and a loop is always init condition post. So I'm going to do my initialization I colon equals 0, and then I'm going to do this for less than 10. I'll go from 0 to 9. When it hits 10, it's going to exit, and then I'm going to do my post operation, which is to add 1 to my I plus plus. I'm going to format that. I'm going to run it. There are some random numbers, people, between 1 and 10. I didn't get 10, so I'm going to bump this up a little bit and see if I could finally get a 10 so we could see it goes to 1 to 10. I still didn't get 10. Why am I not getting 10? 0 to, I should be getting a 9, and then that should bump me up to 10. Let's do it to 100. Just checking that it's working the way.
9.
I'm not getting 10. So I got to go back and look at the documentation, and it says random number in 0 to n. Boom. Not including n. That instead of right? The paren instead of the bracket tells me it's not including n. Up to but not including n. So that's just what you learn when you learn the language, like any language. Jose, what's a can in Spanish? What is it?
We were talking about that the other day.
Plata, right?
No,
Plata.
Platillo, platitude, what is it?
we were talking about it the other day,
What is it?
and he was just telling me that you meant a different kind of can. Like, I can do it. Right?
No, I want the can you drink Pepsi from.
Okay, then lata.
Lata!
So shouldn't that 9 be a 10?
Lata, so this should be a 10. Up to, because now I'm going to 11, but not including 11, and it's an int, now I'm getting 10s. Cool, so I tested it, it's working the way I want, and now I need to come over here and I need to create these things. And so recipe ingredients has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. And I can look to see recipe ingredients. I need a primary key. So I need my primary key. And my primary key is just going to be I. Because that's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? So I need my primary key. And I need my recipe ID. And that references recipes recipe ID. And in recipes, select star from, we'll do select recipe. Oh, let's do select star. Select star from recipes. We've got 12 recipe IDs, so I could go to 0 to 12, correct? So I'm going to do 13. Is that right? Because before I had 10, and that took me to 10. So I need 12 there. The number I'm going to. And that will take me to 12. Because that will give me 13, which isn't included. And then next, I need ingredient ID from ingredients. So I'm going to do select star from ingredients. And ingredients goes to 10. So this one will go to 10. And next I need measurements ID from measurements. That goes to 12. So that's right. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I insert stuff, I was inserting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now I need to put commas between all those. So to insert a comma is like this. That's what I need. So I'm just going to copy that, and I'll put a comma here. And I will put a comma here. And I'll put a comma here. And I'll put a comma here. And then here, I'm going to put an ending paren. And here, I'll put a beginning paren. And now run it. Sweet. I got some spaces, don't really care for them. So I'm going to switch this from print to string print and not a line. And then I want a comma after my last one. I know it starts to get a little bit wacky to read with all those commas. I broke it. Let's do it to 10. Just means I had a bad request for going over the web. Oh, no, it's my bad. I sprinted, I never printed. So sprint returns. I'm going to assign that to a variable a, and then I'm going to funct.println that variable out. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, 9, and then random numbers for each of the things. And why am I don't want them on different lines. Let me see if that fixes it. So it's all on the same line. Separated by commas, no spaces. And I want 100 of them, or maybe 1,000. There's 1,000 of them. I'm going to come down here and copy them. And then just throw it through my web browser to take out any formatting. And I could have a alternative, or insert into recipe ingredients values. There's 1,000 of them. Take out that last comma, put in a semicolon. And I already have the first 100. So let's get rid of, see, I did through 100 right here. Let's get rid of the first 100. And I could start with 101 and then copy all this. And then bring this over to SQL and paste it in. And didn't like recipe ingredients. And we have recipe ingredients, insert into recipe. Did I?
Yeah.
Recipeing. Wait, how did I spell it wrong? Recipe ingredients. Oh, I spelled it wrong that way. Okay. Now it's right? So ingredient 12 is not present in the table ingredients. We have 10. And ingredients was ingredients was ID, recipe ID, ingredient ID from ingredients. So that's the third one. So the third one can only go up to 10. So the third one, first one, second one, third one, that's only going up to 10. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me just do, this is recipe ingredients. We're doing key, and then recipes, and then ingredients, and then measurements. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the fifth one? Key, and then recipe ID, recipe ID, and then ingredients, ingredient ID, and then measurements, measurement ID. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. What? Well, I think we only have 4 here. But why 5? 1, 2. Oh, I'm missing one here. And then recipe sequence number. Recipe sequence number. So recipe sequence number is right after recipes. It's right there. Recipe sequence number. And so this one is going to be sequential. This one is going to be this is a recipe, select star from recipes. This one is 12. This one is recipe sequence number. This could be anything, so we'll just make it through 20. This one is, it's just like step 1, step 2, step 3 is what that is. That's from ingredients. That's 10. And then this one is from measurements. And that's 12. So let's see what we got in our thing. We have sequential. That's sequential. And then the next one, sequential. The next one is through 12. That's through 12. The next one can be just through 20. So we'll make that one through 20, just the sequence number. The next one is through 10. The next one is through 12. All right, let's format, run. Oh, but I'm only going to do these from 100 on. So we'll start at 101. How many people think it's going to work? Raise your hand. You think it's going to work? I think it's going to work. We just inserted 899 records. It's pretty cool. Now if we look at that table, That's all its data. Isn't that neat?
Mm-hmm.
How many people found that interesting? How many people that made you want to learn the Go programming language? Go is amazing.
Why wouldn't you?
All right.